Hello, coming at ya with some information about the Rave Mandala. And if you don't know what the Rave Mandala is, just show it to you for a quick sec. This is the Rave Mandala. We're going to be talking about what it is, where it came from, and the different components on it. So if you look at the Rave Mandala, you will see that we have hexagrams on the outside, gates or keys right here, and then we have astrological zodiac signs here. And if you have your own Rave Mandala, you will be able to see the planets and their placements here and each of the signs. So I'll pull mine up so that you can see that a little bit later, but I don't want to confuse you with all the parts of it. So I did want to talk about this because I know that when talking about the gene keys, we have the keys. When talking about human design, we have the gates. When talking about the I Ching, we talk about the hexagrams. And I want you to know that they're all basically the same thing. So when you're contemplating a gene key, you can use the description of the human design gate as well. And you can also use the I Ching description for the hexagram. And in the gene key book, you will see the hexagrams in here. They're listed there. So I'm in the 44th right now, and you can see, there's the hexagram. And the hexagram is comprised of 6 lines, just like we have 6 lines in our gene keys. Like you're either going to be a first line, second line, third line, fourth line. What we want to understand about these lines is that in the I Ching, they're constantly changing. The I Ching is called the Book of Changes, and it is what the gene keys and human design is founded on. So it's the foundational teaching that these other systems were created on. So if you look here and we go to, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, there we go. Let's zoom in. Okay, so if you look, apologies for it being a little bit blurry, but if you look right here, this is hexagram 1, gate 1, and it has 6 yang lines. Yang lines are the long connected lines. Yin lines are the feminine, and they have the space in between them. So yang is the masculine, yin is the feminine, and you'll see that here. So this is prime yang. So there's 6 yang lines, and this is creative heaven. And so we begin our journey around the wheel with receptive earth, which is prime yin. And then we can see, and the I Ching mandala, the mandala moves counterclockwise. So it moves this way. And so it's moving from a all yin to become all yang. And it has a whole process it goes through, and it's not like one, it receives from the top, right? So we have the prime yin here, and then it's receiving a yang from the top, and you can see it making its way down and then gaining more yang, and then transforming in different parts of the hexagram, right? Until it accumulates all of the yang and becomes prime yang. Now with the first gate, with the first gene key, the frequencies are entropy, freshness, and beauty. And this is what makes up that hexagram. And then when you move to the feminine principle, the feminine gate, gene key, hexagram, it is the frequencies in the gene keys. The gene keys describe it as dislocation, orientation, and unity. And so we're uniting back with source, back with the divine. And it's beautiful because if we're starting here, we are dislocated from it. So if this is receptive earth, we are trying to unite with creative heaven. And so we are orienting ourselves through this process to come back to have unity with the creative heaven. And okay, so right now we are in the 47th gate hexagram gene key. So let's find that on the wheel right here. So it's in Virgo because it shows up and it's activated by our sun in September. Today it's in line 1 or 2, line 1. I think it's in line 1. And because it's in line 1, it means that we are in introspection, we're in investigation, we are understanding and looking at, okay, these frequencies, oppression, transmutation, transfiguration. What does that mean in my life? How does that show up? And since we're in line 1, we are learning the foundation of this gate gene key hexagram. As we progress through the week, we begin to understand, okay, now I'm going to see line 2, and that is the flow, the naturalness, what comes out. Like here we're in investigation and introspection. Tomorrow we're going to learn about how it flows through us and how it just comes out naturally, and also see how it shows up in our interactions through that biofeedback loop. So the first, second, and third line are very interpersonal. So it's about you and uncovering it and embody it and unlocking it through your personal life. So first line, going inward. Second line, seeing it in your relationship. Third line is this trial and error, opportunities, potential, and play. Let's call it potential and play, right? We're transforming the language here. Instead of trial and error, it's potential and play. So you're playing with the energy here. And then we get into transpersonal, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th line. And we'll experience that towards the end of the week. And that will be, 4th line is more about that heart, that speaking from the heart, operating from that heart, transmuting from the heart. And then we'll move into the 5th line, which is all about crystallizing the information that you have gotten, the personal experience you've had, the information that you've accumulated, the investigation, the play that you've had with it. And then when we get to the 6th line, this is where we're going to start talking about bringing this mandala in, because the 6th line is very different than the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, because it has been through the whole process and it's moving towards something new. It is changing. It is no longer playing with this 47 energy. It knows it. It understands it. It's going to teach it. It went through the whole process. And now as it is reaching the end of its cycle, it is changing into the 6th. And so when you have a 6th line in your profile, you are going to want to check out the hexagram that comes after it, because you are moving into this new frequency, energy. And so the 47 turns into the 6, right? So with the 6th line, you have that understanding of all of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th lines in the 47. And now you're teaching visionary. Where is this visionary teacher heading? This visionary teacher is heading towards the 6th gene key, where it will learn about conflict, diplomacy, and peace. And so how do these two go together? Because the 6th line is going to take what it knows and then accumulate from that 6th line hexagram gate, right? And so you're going to want to look at the 6.1, the 6th line in its foundation, so that you can understand where you're going, right? So for those of you that are hopping on in the middle of this, what we're talking about is if you have a 6th line in your profile and you're contemplating it, what else can you do to deepen your contemplation? You can move counterclockwise on this wheel to see what hexagram is next, to see what foundation you're going to be laying, because you are this visionary, your teacher, you're going somewhere in the future. The future is the 6, right? And then when you get to the 6th line of the 6th hexagram, you're going to move to the 46. So somebody give me one of your guys's gates that you have, and we'll look at the hexagram. If you have a 6th line, tell me what gene key you have, or what gate, what hexagram you have. Just pop it in the comments, and I'll use the next one as the example. So if you're a 6th line, let me know which gate you're 6th line in. Just pop it in there. So this is another way to deepen your contemplation by looking at what's to come. And remember, it goes counterclockwise, so it comes this way. You're going to move around the hexagram this way, because we're moving towards that creative heaven. And then coming back down to the receptive earth. I'm going to pull up really quick mine so that you can see. If you don't know how to contemplate the lines, there are a couple books and resources. Okay, so I saw 51.6. Thank you. So 51.6, we're going to go there. I'm going to use that one. That's a great one. I have that one in, actually, I have that one in my attraction sphere. That specific one, 51.6, is in my attraction. What sphere? Oh, and someone has 50.6. What sphere do you have those in, or is that just a random one from your human design chart? So when you're contemplating the lines, you can use the human design book. There's a bunch of different resources out there. You can use the Gene Key book. So we have the Golden Path. Those talk about all of the lines. You can go in Your Life by Design, our group, and you can check out the unit section, and we have the WTF are my gifts. I explain all the different lines there. You can also go into Unlock Your Design, our membership group, and we have all the lines there as well. We also have this goodie right here. It is a 400 and something page, 453 page novel of every single gate and line and a description of them, which is insane. It's beautiful. I've learned a lot of new stuff from this book as well. My son has 37.5 in his vocation. And I learned that it was about love and love of the family and giving to the family. And he is a loving kid. So it was like really cool to see that illuminated because the lines are different. 51.1 in the attraction sphere too. So 51.6 is in their sphere of relating. And then we have a 3.6. Ah, so cool. So cool. So we're going to look. Oh, thanks for all of your guys' sixes. Oh, yeah. So let's pull this down. I'm going to pull this down. And if you're in my Unlock Your Design group with me, Bella and Melinda, we give you this whole document. That document's in there so that you can really dive into your lines because we're doing line design right now. And it's been so illuminating. I love it. Okay, moving on. So let's look at 51. So where is 51 on this chart? There it is. So we have 51 in Aries. Look at that fire energy. And we need it because this is like the lightning, right? Lightning's coming down and awakening us. So because it goes counterclockwise, the next gene key, the next gate, the next hexagram that we are moving into is 42. So 51 becomes 42. So if you are 51.6, you have that visionary teacher energy, and we have that it's about learning that process of initiating, learning that process of awakening yourself, awakening others, awakening your relationships. If you have it in your attraction sphere, if you have it in your relating sphere, it's all about like how you're relating to the people in your business in particular, because that's in the star pearl. So relating to your audience. And so you're going to awaken your audience, right? But if you're a 6 line, what are you awakening them to? Where are you going with this energy? 42 is detachment. It's expectation, detachment, and hold on, here we go. Expectation, detachment, and celebration. And so what are you awakening them to? The fact that we are all present in the now, letting go of the past, letting go of the future, being present now. And so we're getting that foundational understanding of the 42.1 and what it means to have expectations. How is that showing up for you personally? Because if you're trying to look at the foundational level, you are going within. It's an introspection. You are creating the foundation. So that 51.6 can be very aloof, very detached. It's hard to relate to that because they're so like wise and embodied up here. And they're bringing something from the future here. Like, where are we going with this 51 energy? You're bringing it here. And a lot of people can't relate to it because it's not actualized yet. And then we are building that foundation of the 42, right? Because that's where it's going after it hits that 51. It goes to 42. And so you're taking yourself off that roof and coming down to the foundation, because it is easier to go from 51.6 to the first line of the next hexagram than it is to go all the way back down to 51.1. You already understand the foundation. You already understand the foundation of 51.1. You don't need to go there. Where you do need to go to deepen your contemplation is the next one after. For those of you that are, let's see, I see a 50.6, and that one is corruption, equilibrium, and harmony. Did I skip it? Where is it? Where are you? Where is the 50? Are any of you seeing it? Because, oh, there it is. It's right here. Okay, so the 50 is going to the 28. So 50.6 going to 28. So we have that equilibrium, that harmony. Inner harmony, outer harmony. How can you teach others to be harmonious? And then moving into this, okay, after we've achieved harmony and equilibrium, what's next? Because if you can flow and have that harmony and you are aligned and harmonize with your masculine, your feminine, other people around you, what's your purpose, right? So if once you have that harmony, what's that purpose? So having that foundation of like that purposelessness, because it goes purposelessness, totality, and immortality. So we're going into that first line, that introspection into that. And let's see, if we look at the book, let me see if I can pull it up here. So if we go to 28, is it going to show me? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so 28. Let's move this down. Benjamin, can you give the baby the binky? I have a very limited time here now that the baby's awake. Okay, so this is going to tell us about the 28. Let's make it bigger. The 28.1. So the first line is introspective. We know that. It's the foundation. We know that about the nature of the first line. It is looking inward. And the first line in the 28 is called preparation. The desire to be effective manifested in the application of energy to detail. If you look at 32.1, it says a life sustaining respect and attention to all aspects of it. See, this is, you're going to have to marinate on this stuff because this is, again, like a lot of information to take in and it's not easy to digest. The change that has to be endured in the 32 is tribal. Let's look at this. This is the gate of the game player. This is the right one, but we're looking at the right one, right? 2850. Yep, that's the right one. I wanted to make sure we were there. An intuition for detail without the potential for application. It's all about being prepared. This is the gate of the game player and the risk taker. Oh, I'm sorry, 28. I'm like saying that it's purposelessness, totality. Is it? I swear to gosh, that is what this one is. Because now this kind of sounds like, hold on, let me double check. Now I'm like, I'm doubting myself and my abilities to recall all of these. Yeah, purposelessness, totality, immortality. So because this is the gate of the game player and the risk taker, the first line has to set the foundation for that. What kind of risk do you want to take? You better have your detail. When you have that equilibrium and that harmony inside of you, you're able to take those risks because you feel really secure and solid within yourself, right? And so now that you have that solidity and you have that understanding of the energy behind it, you're able to take that and take risks with it. And so this is all about preparing to take those risks, right? So your whole journey was to gain that equilibrium and harmony, and now you're preparing to take risks because that's where this hexagram is going. So let's see what the 50 is called. So the 50.6 was called leadership. Every 6 line has the capacity to lead or not. If you look at all of them very carefully, you see that there are an enormous importance to us in our process. Here we have leadership, Venus exalted. This is when you have that upward arrow on your chart. Exalted is upward arrow, detriment is downward facing. And so if you have one of those, it means that you are predispositioned to be able to get in the gift frequency. When you have it in detriment, it means that you have to go through the shadow and there's setbacks in that. So, but if you don't have any of them, then it means like just contemplate it as it is normal. It's not exalted or in detriment. If you have the star, it means you have both detriment and exalted because you probably have it in a design and in an unconscious. So the gift in a position of power to maintain harmony, even in severity. So these people who have it Venus exalted in this 50.6, they can maintain harmony even in like crazy situations. When you're in the position of power because you're a 6 line. And then in detriment, it's an inherent moodiness that in a position of power may at times alienate, which is a key thing for 6 lines, or offend and affect overall efficiency. Here are 2 sides in the white book: the strength to maintain one's values with vigor and continue to have harmonic relationships with others. Let's see. Okay, here we go. One person can come up to me and ask me to lead them, and I refuse. Another person can come up with exactly the same request, and I say yes. This is the nature of the 6th line. It is not universal. It is deeply selective at that level, and it comes from a position of power. This intrinsic power that lies here, and all 6 lines that say, yes, I have accomplished all these 5 steps, so line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next line is the 28.1 preparation. It is the desire to be effective. That is what the leadership is looking for. So it's looking for effectiveness of its leadership because you've maintained and understood this harmony. Now you're looking to prepare to be effective. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of cool contemplation that you can go through in here to really suck out some of the juice and the marrow of this, right? For me personally, yesterday I was contemplating my, which one was it? I was looking into the 35, so let me look on the hexagram and see. Which one was I looking at? Because I know where I was going. I was going to the 35. Oh, I was looking at my 16 because I have 16.6 in my SQ, and that moves me to the 35. 16 is mastery, the gate of skills, enthusiasm. I have to have enthusiasm and identify with what I'm talking about. So you can tell that I have enthusiasm about this, right? The way that I'm talking, how I'm presenting it, my inflection. I'm excited about it because it's new information we can use to help further our contemplation. And so if I'm looking at 16, and this is about mastery, and mastery in the 6th line is like, okay, great, I have the energy to master things, but what do I want to master? It's very selective, just like we talked about in the 50. And you can get conditioned as a kid, like you're going to master this. And I went through, as a child, going through the shoulds. I should do this, I should do that. I will in a second. I'm almost done with this, and then I will. Did you give her B? Yeah. Thank you. A lot of times. I gotta get off soon because he's given her binky a lot of times. I'm almost done, honey. One more minute, 2 more minutes. Okay, so with the 16 mastery, what am I gonna master? And like I said, you can be heavily conditioned. So this is art. It's art. It's music. It's dance. It's the process of art. Mastery is an art, right? It's an art form. 35 is about life. And so if we are in the 16.6 and moving towards the 35.1, the foundation is understanding that art is life. Life is a work of art. And since it's in my SQ, which is all about my heart and mastering my heart is like my life's work. It's an art form. And when my father-in-law died last year, we got this beautiful card from somebody, and they wrote something in it that really touched me really deeply. And I couldn't figure out why. I mean, it sounded beautiful and it really resonated. And I feel like it had to do with that 16 and the 35, life as being a work of art. And here's what it said. It said, I've come to know that our families are a canvas on which we paint our greatest hopes. Imperfect and sloppy, for we are all amateurs at life. But if we do not focus too much on our mistakes, a miraculous picture emerges, and we learn that it is not the beauty of the image that warrants our gratitude, it's the chance to paint. That's what life is about. It's not about the masterpiece you're creating. It's not about that. It's about having the chance to paint. Because it's not about the future. It's not about the past. It's about being present with each stroke, right? I don't know. That was just a beautiful message at a hard time in our life. So it really teaches us to be present with our families and to just enjoy the process, just enjoy the art of just being here, painting together. And that's it. So I hope that this was helpful. Do you have any questions right now about what we covered? If you're first, second, third, fourth, or fifth line, contemplate the first line. So go into the foundation level and contemplate that line 1. That's what's going to be helpful for you. When you get to the 6th line, move to the next hexagram in the first line. And If you are wanting to dive in deeper with our line design, Thursday we have another call at noon. You can have the replay. We talked about lines 1 and 2 on the first call. It was awesome. We're going to talk about lines 3 and 4 on the second call, and obviously we'll progress from there. But we have 3 more calls left, so you still have a chance to get in. You can either reach out to me, or I'll post the link, or have somebody post the link in the comments, and you can definitely join us. We're really excited. Also, I want to make sure I let you guys know, since we're in the 47 right now, if you go into the units tab, we have a whole masterclass on the 47th gene key. And there's a PDF booklet that goes with it too, a workbook. So I'll try to post that in the group as well, so that you can just remember it. But definitely go check out the unit section. If you join Unlock Your Design, tons of master classes and replays and stuff in there for you to sink your teeth into. We have tons of resources. And we also have this book right here to have all the lines. This is like the nuggets you don't get, right? The Gene Key book does not tell you what the lines are, but this one does. And it's 453 pages. We got that in the resources section. So if you want it, come hang out with us. I got what you want. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for joining, watching the replay. I look forward to hearing about your guys' contemplations, and definitely make sure that you are understanding and going deep within the 47 today, since we're in the first line. Investigate. I want you to look in your life and see, what do I feel is oppressing me? Where do I see oppression? How is that affecting me personally? How can I transmute that? Investigate this whole process. This would be a great opportunity for you to watch that 47 masterclass that I did. I'll post it again in the group, in Your Life by Design, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining me.